Do you guys think Lance will ever get to a point where he'll throw more than 30 times a game? Will he need to? Yeah, he'll need to get that second contract. Yeah. Not initially, but yeah, he'll need to.
I think he will progress into this eventually. I think it's just a matter of it happening over time. I think what will happen is they'll run the ball as much as possible in the first 2 seasons with Lance, and then they'll move more and more towards the pass as he gets comfortable. And going to something you said, Grant, maybe they'll invest more in wide receivers. Maybe they'll invest in another weapon for him. So I think it all depends on how things pan out. But I could certainly see a situation where he's eventually throwing 30, 35 times a game. But that's not going to be anytime soon.
No. I'm going to disagree. And it has nothing to do with Lance. It has everything to do with Kyle Shanahan. So if you look at Kyle Shanahan offensively run teams, they're always bottom half or bottom, like last 5 in pass attempts per game by their quarterback. And this was even when he was in Atlanta with Matt Ryan. I think he was throwing like right at 30, right around there. And every year with the 49ers has been under 30 reps per game, 30 throws per game, whomever the quarterback is. So I think this is just a philosophy of Kyle Shanahan. He's a run first offensive coordinator. So whomever's no matter how powerful that quarterback is, I think it's going to be less than 30. You're going to see average. And it's going to be off of play action. Play action only works if your running game is really, really strong. So even though Lance is going to have a great arm and can throw more, I don't think he will be asked to, just because of the way Kyle Shanahan runs his offense.
Yeah, the way that I see this question is I think that the reason he's pointing out 30 times a game is because that's not something that Lance even really did in college. Mm-hmm. So when I look at this question, I'll refer you guys to either you go back to 2012 again with Washington when they had RG3 there, or go back to Ben Roethlisberger's first couple of seasons in Pittsburgh. I think those are the two that you can go back to and see how they're going to progress with Trey Lance. I would expect years 1 and 2 with Lance to be really run heavy, like Suneil said, and by year it was the same way with Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. It wasn't until year 3 where Roethlisberger really started to throw the ball more often, and the reason that he was doing that was in part because he'd been in the league for 2 years, and so he was getting his feet under him. They also had lost some of their running game, so he needed to throw the ball more. And I think we're going to see that with him here. You know, I wouldn't expect him to throw over 30 times a game, probably more than once or twice this year, if at all, because I really think that the focus is going to be on pounding the football. But I think he's going to grow into a guy that can do that by year 3, where he's able to do it more than once or twice a season. And I think that's kind of where Jeremy was going with that question.
Jaeger805 says, do you guys think the injury history will affect the way the players will want to play this year? Grant, you should get Ramba. Do I think the injury history will affect the way the players want to play this year? No, they're going to play as hard as they play. Yeah. Sorry, Jaeger. No, they're going to play 100% because that's what they do. Kyle Sullivan says, the greatest quality of Levi's Stadium is that it has seats where fans can sit in. Good job, Jed. With that said, what impact will it have on the Niners knowing the faithful will be back to witness glory? I think they're going to play harder now because the fans are there. I think last year they couldn't play as hard as they wanted to. They're only playing 50% because they didn't have the fans. And it was like, you know what? If fans aren't watching, what's the point? And now the fans are back. They're going to give it their real effort. That's what I think.
Yeah, maybe they'll stay healthier. I mean, who knows? You know, they could really turn everything around.
85% of the franchise, state of the franchise was about the fans.
Yeah,
85%.
That was one of the biggest takeaways from the whole thing was how everybody talked.
Forget Trey Lance. The fans are going to propel this team.
I think that I think the 49ers played hard last season, but one thing I think more than a lot of teams, 49ers play better when they're having fun, and you didn't see that like fun that they have, and I think that is off of the fans. You're going to see
the whole year.
Yeah, and Kittle, right? But I think you're going to see more dancing. You're going to see more of the first down that Kittle used to do. You're going to see like a lot more.
They lost their best dancer on the team by far.
Brandon Ayuk is going to step into that role and be gritting his way.
There is a
way to the end zone over and over.
Big dancing shoes that he needs to fill. Serious dancing shoes.
If we could be serious for a second, though, I think one thing that will help that will really help the team is that you think about what they were dealing with at the end of last season, being in Arizona, not being home, being away from the facility. I just think being back and having things normal, that's going to make things easier for this team next year. Not the fans necessarily, but the fact that they're not staying in a hotel where they can't even go down the hall and talk to their teammates. That's going to make a big difference more than anything.